Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Dangerous Ideas. I'm Lee Camp, the most censored comedian in America. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me. I love you all. I love you in a deep, dark way. Okay, so thank you for being here. And yeah, I'm gonna get into. I got a lot of videos. This is a big video episode. Got a lot of things to show you. Some of you may have already seen this clip of Anderson Cooper looking like a goddamn clown while talking to Cornel West, but you haven't heard me analyze it. And let's be honest, then you haven't really seen it, okay? Because until I've analyzed it, it's not real. It's like a tree falling in the woods, and if it crushes your friend, but you didn't like him that much, did it really fall? No, no, it didn't. But if you haven't heard, I think I have this analogy right. If you haven't heard my analysis yet, then you haven't really seen it. So I'm going to show you that, but I'm also going to show you more. I got more clips of Congress being shut down, of all kinds of crazy shit going on that you do not want to miss. So please take a second to click subscribe, click thumbs up, and I realized this may be my own idiocy, but I realized that I was telling everybody for the past couple of months to, go to leecamp.net and sign up. And you can even sign up for free at Locals and get a taste of everything. You don't get all the exclusive stuff, but you get a lot of stuff. So I was telling everybody that, but I didn't realize that you go to that link and you kind of can't figure out how to do the free sign up. So I just want to throw in here. I'll talk more about it maybe later, but Lee Camp, I put it on the screen there, leecamp.locals.com will take you to the page where you can just become a member of my community for free. Don't have to pay a dime, and at least you will get most of the content there. You'll get to feel things out. And then hopefully one day you're like, you know what? I'd like to throw in my 38 cents an episode and be a full-fledged member. But so if everybody just open that tab. Don't do it right now. I mean, open the tab right now, but you don't have to fill the shit out right now. Someone in the chat's asking about Rad Indie Media today. It is down, and I don't know why, because I'm not a web designer, web checker, the guy who's up to his elbows deep inside the web. I'm not that guy. So I'm trying to get it looked at, trying to get it analyzed, trying to get the proctologist version of a website analyzer to look up in there and under the hood and see what's going on. Anyway, Rad Indie Media is down for the moment. For those who haven't heard of Rad Indie Media, you should check it out when it's working, radindiemedia.com. But we're working on it, folks. Sorry it's down. We're doing our best. But all right, I want to show you this clip. This is Cornel West, and so they've done this same thing. This is what the mainstream media does whenever there's a third-party candidate, whenever there's a candidate taking on the corpse of Joe Biden as he's running. They will have them on the mainstream media like once or like twice. They'll have them on a couple of, now Fox News is different because Fox News wants to undermine, they view the third parties and things as undermining Biden, so they want to have them on. But in terms of the quote-unquote liberal media, the CNNs and the MSNBCs, they will often have these people on like one time in order to try and set the stage for like, oh, this guy's an idiot, an asshole, and and how dare he get involved in our democracy, which is not a democracy, but we pretend it is. How dare he think that he could run for office and not just crown the decrepit, mummified Joe Biden? How dare he? So they have them on to kind of define them. That's their goal. They did it with, Bernie Sanders. They even do it with people who aren't running for office, like me. They didn't have me on mainstream media, but they did an article in New York Times about me, and they did an article or an episode of NPR's Weekend Edition about me in order to like set the ground. Here is the person you should hate, and here's why you should hate them. And then they'll never speak to you again because they don't want to give you too much coverage. So that seems to be what they're doing to some degree with Cornel West, although he's a little bit of exception because he is so well known and so looked up to amongst so many people that he has been a frequent guest on many of these shows for a long time. But now they're busy trying to malign and and undermine any candidacy he could have. So let's play a clip of this. Oh, I should say up top that this jumps in right as Anderson Cooper is saying something about Grozny, the capital of Chechnya, and he's referring to the Grozny ballistic missile attack by Russia on Chechnya in 1999. And I'll give you more details about that in a moment. But let's just start playing this clip. And here he is.
The world didn't come to the rescue of Grozny. He did exactly what he wanted to do.
Okay, so what he's talking about is he says the world didn't come to the rescue of Grozny, and therefore Putin and Russia could do whatever they wanted to do. Now, I don't know whether other people analyzing this have noticed this, but that already creates a false priming, a false narrative. As if right now in Ukraine, the world is coming to the rescue of Ukraine. That's what's happening right now, right? That's what Anderson Cooper has just led you to believe, or any viewer to believe. Oh, the world didn't come to the rescue of Grozny, but they are coming to the rescue of Ukraine. So it's a false analysis from like the first half of the sentence. And yet this kind of thing gets glazed over. Like you ignore that part and you focus more on what's coming up. But he just already started with bullshit. The world is not coming to the rescue of Ukraine. In fact, the world, and he's talking, of course, about the Western world. This is another way that it's false. In fact, 80% of the world's population is in countries that are not involved in the proxy war in Ukraine. They have not gotten involved with or signed on to U.S. sanctions on Russia. They have not sent weapons. They are not involved. So when he says the world, he means the Western world. He means Europe and the United States and Canada. Like, that's what he means in Australia. That's what he means when he says the world. It didn't come to the rescue of Grozny, but they came to the rescue in Ukraine. So is that really what's happening here? The proxy war in Ukraine? And apparently coming to the rescue consists of sending cluster bombs, which are banned by 100 countries for killing civilians and children, sending cluster bombs to fucking Nazis with literally swastikas on their helmets. That's coming to the rescue. That's what Anderson Cooper reviews as coming to the rescue. Now, I do wish Cornel West would have said all this, but he does give some response, but I want it all. I want the cluster bombs of truth dropped on Anderson Cooper. Anyway.
I mean, unchecked, he will slaughter people.
Well, I mean, unchecked, he will slaughter folk. Unchecked, what we did in Iraq was slaughtering people. Unchecked, what we've done in other places. Unchecked.
But sir,
now, Anderson Cooper has to jump in here. Oh, all Cornel West did was bring up Iraq. He said other places, but of course he could sit there and list for the next 15 minutes. He could go, what we did in Syria slaughtering folks, what we did in Afghanistan slaughtering folks, what we doing in Yemen slaughtering folks, what we did in Libya slaughtering folks. And this is just the recent ones. He's not even getting into Vietnam and Korea and all these places, like just breathtaking amounts of carnage. And Anderson Cooper with his little smirk, the former CIA intern, he was an intern of the CIA, still has good buddies there. Former CIA intern goes, oh, how dare you conflate our invasion and destruction of Iraq with the attack on Grozny.
Variety of other empires do that. Nation states do that, though.
No, I understand.
They're wrong. And when they're wrong, you have to pull up. You have to point it out.
I respect you. You know, I love you.
All that bullshit. Look, you know, I love you, but let me tell you that what you just said is horrific.
But I do think it's inappropriate to compare the Russian bombing of Grozny and what we witnessed there with the war in Iraq. I mean, to say that innocents are killed. I mean, there's no doubt.
It's inappropriate to compare Grozny. Yeah, you know why it's inappropriate? Because And I looked it up because I don't know about you. I don't have this kind of fact on the top of my brain. How many people were killed in Grozny? I'll let you all answer to yourself what your guess is on how many people were killed in the Russian attack on Grozny. And this is assuming that it was a completely unprovoked attack, and maybe it was. I'm no expert on Grozny, but I did look up, and I went to a liberal source. This is not my crazy radical source. This is not Rad Indie Media source. I went to the liberal, probably exaggerating the numbers source of Wikipedia on how many people were killed in the Russian attack on Grozny. Can you what is the guess from you guys in the chat there? I'm not going to give you time to actually type it in, but it's because I'm going to give you the answer. But the answer is killed at least 118 people. 118. And then it says at least 137 immediate dead, according to another count. 137 is what Wikipedia says in the Grozny ballistic missile attack. Now, long term could be higher than that by a few hundred, could even be over 1,000. The U.S. killed 1 million people in Iraq. I know a lot of people say 500,000, but they're not accounting for the long-term death and destruction that's caused by destroying infrastructure, that's caused by depleted uranium, that's caused in all of these ways, destroying lives, killing people, the ongoing occupation in which we killed people during the entire course of it. It's over 1 million, or it's nearing 1 million at minimum. Murdered in Iraq by the United States and our occupation there. Now, if you count the entire global war on terror, the Brown University Cost of War says it's 6 million innocent people. 6 million people killed by our global war on terror. And here's Anderson Cooper going, whoa, whoa, whoa. You cannot compare the horrific murders in Grozny with our war on Iraq. I mean, it truly is a you have no shame moment. It truly is. Do you realize what you fucking are, you fucking clown? Jesus Christ. And yeah, I know some people are upset with Cornel West's kind of not strong enough reaction, and yeah, I share your pain. Now he was right to bring up Iraq, to bring up U.S. killings. He absolutely should have, but he should have fucking sat there and listed all the numbers of U.S. murders over the past several years. 6 million being just the war on terror. That doesn't account the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, killed by our economic sanction, our economic wars on various countries. So, yes, he absolutely should have. Anderson Cooper interrupted him and didn't let him speak, and he unfortunately allowed that to happen. But
doubt about it. I mean, the horrible things happen.
500,000 Iraqis killed, my brother.
Well,
500,000.
Yeah, listen, I was there.
I was there. As if, hey, look, even if Anderson Cooper were fucking front lines, I don't care if he had an AK strapped on his chest and a little hat. I don't give a shit. I was there. Does that change it? Does that make it less obscene? You were actually there doing propaganda for the side that was perpetrating it. I was there. He says that like, how dare ye, sir? I was there. I was there doing the propaganda to defend that war. Like, you were there makes it worse, you asshole. You were there? Yeah, you were there. How pathetic is that? You were part of the invading force. You were the voice of the invading force that murdered 1 million people on a lie, on a massive lie. How is that your defense? It's like, you know, fucking being involved in murder. Like, yeah, you see, did you know there was a serial murderer? Yeah, I was there. I was high-fiving him. How dare you bring that up? I was there. I gave him a pat on the back. To bring that up like I wasn't there. I was there. That makes it worse.
I mean, I was there. I was there with troops. I certainly understand.
See, I like this moment. So, and I get people want Cornel West to be louder, but in this moment, even the people that buy into a lot of CNN's lies and a lot of CNN's propaganda, in this moment, you can see Cornel West looking down morally at Anderson Cooper. You can see him. This is one of the few. For some reason, he wasn't looking in the camera, which I think someone needs to tell him, because he is media trained. I mean, Cornel West, when he wants to fucking run away with a scene, when he wants to steal a scene, he can do it, man. I was on a show with him for to raise money for Assange, and I was performing comedy. Cornel West was speaking. There were many others, Roger Waters, and so many others. But in New York City, and Cornel West. I'd like to say I did all right, but Cornel West fucking ran away with that night. When he wants to, he can do it, man. He can turn it on. And so I don't know why he wasn't looking in the camera, but in this moment, you see him look down on Anderson Cooper like, you were there. You were there, my son. That's right. You were there.
And I also saw a lot of Americans getting killed, and I saw, the
Oh, did you? Did you see a lot of Americans getting killed? Yeah, did you? Proportionally to the million Iraqis? Was it anywhere near that? Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't anywhere near that. Okay, just checking. Just checking. Also, there is a thing where when you go into a country and you murder 1 million of their citizens, sometimes the invading force ends up getting harmed. That sometimes that happens.
The horrors of Saddam Hussein. I'm just saying, I don't think it's accurate.
It's the horrors of Saddam Hussein, but it's not the horrors of the U.S. military, right? It's only the horrors of Saddam Hussein. We don't commit horrors, right? We commit justice torture. We commit democracy bombings. We commit liberty shootings to the heads. That's what we do. It's the horrors of Saddam Hussein, but it's just democracy, justice murders for us.
To compare the pummeling of a city.
Does anyone want to pull up some clips of the shock and awe? Is that not pummeling of a city?
By Russian artillery.
U.S. shock and awe was... I remember seeing it on my TV screen, and this was before I'd fully woken up to what our system is and to how murderous it is. I remember seeing it on my TV screen and going, "What the fuck are we doing? We are obliterating a city? Is that whole city Saddam Hussein?" Even if you want to say, "Oh, evil dictator, all these horrible things," is everybody? Because I'm watching bombs rain down on that city, and is everybody who lives there Saddam Hussein? Is it? I know he had some body doubles. Is it like 1 million that live in Baghdad? Everybody's just a Saddam Hussein body double, or it's all just Saddam Hussein? That's why the bombs rain down.
With civilians inside, pummeling every single day with the intention of just destroying and flattening a city, with actions the U.S.
You could very well. Sorry about that. You could very well. You could very well have taken that, what he was saying right there, what Anderson Cooper was saying there, and apply it to the U.S. obliteration of Baghdad, and there's no difference. None whatsoever. He's like, I don't think you can compare what was done in Grozny with... There's a reason that probably 90% of Americans, maybe 95%, have never heard the term Grozny, have never heard the name Grozny. There's a reason. Because the amount of killing that was done there is nothing compared to what the U.S. does on a regular basis, continues to do. Nothing. I mean, you have Madeleine Albright sitting there being asked whether killing 500,000 Iraqi children by stopping medication and stuff from getting into Iraq. The estimates are 500,000 Iraqi children died due to our sanctions. And they ask her, is that worth it? And she says, I think it was. She doesn't deny 500,000 children killed by our economic war on Iraq. She just says, yeah, I think killing all those children is it's a good idea. It's a good plan. Good plan. Excellent. Oh, my God. Watching a former CIA intern, and who knows whether it ended an intern. I mean, he says he was just an intern, but it seems like quite a nice move for the CIA to find the people around. I mean, he's a Vanderbilt. Anderson Cooper is a member of the Vanderbilt family. And it seems like quite a nice move for the CIA to be like, hey, intern who studied journalism in college, how about you go over to CNN and we'll stop calling you CIA, but you'll kind of still be CIA a little bit, kind of, yeah, still, maybe. And even if that weren't the case, even if it wasn't like, go over there, you'll still be CIA, guess what? He's an intern. I can't remember whether it was 1 or 2 summers. It might have been 2 years he was CIA. It was an intern at the CIA. But you go to the CIA, you're an intern, you make all these friends and buddies in the CIA, right? Especially if you're a Vanderbilt with all kinds of connections and shit. And so you make all those friends and buddies in the CIA. Then you go over to CNN and you go work your way up the ranks of CNN and you put on TV. And guess who you have on as regular guests on your CNN show? Your old buddies at CNN. And guess where you get a lot of your information? It's from your old buddies at, did I say CNN? Your old buddies at CIA. That's where you go to get your information, your anonymous sources. That's where sometimes you'll have them on screen. But it's just revolting to watch these war criminals function. And look, for those of you saying Cornell didn't push back hard enough, I agree with you. He functions a little differently than maybe I would, but he wasn't saying anything wrong. He was saying the right stuff. He just didn't do it strong enough. I agree with that, and hopefully that changes. Now, of course, there's other moments. I mean, he likes the "my brother" thing. He'll my favorite ever quote from Cornel West in the middle of some sentence. He goes, and whether you're a neo-fascist like my brother Trump, and he's like, dude, he's your brother, and he's a neo-fascist. I don't know. I might cut my brother off at neo-fascist. That might be where I draw the line at my brother. But anyway, it is his way, and I'm scheduled to have him on. I believe it's next week on this live stream. So hopefully his schedule doesn't get too busy, and he's able to make that interview, and we can ask him about this. But I just want to remind everybody that the best candidate for president is the rock that I found in my yard. That if you look at his, I mean, he never supported any of these war crimes at all by the U.S. government. And so that website for his campaign is yardrock2024.com. We have added, because 50% of all the merge proceeds are going to eliminate medical debts of struggling Americans. We have added, I know a lot of you Cornel West fans, we have added a Cornel West t-shirt over there at Yard Rock 2024. And Yard Rock, look, Yard Rock is not gonna because it says on the page that if you can find a candidate that has the same resume as Yard Rock and it lists everything Yard Rock's done and believed, and if you can find a candidate with the same resume, never endorsed these war criminals, never done any of that, never endorsed NAFTA, never endorsed CIA, never endorsed FBI, never endorsed our mainstream media's utter propaganda and garbage, never did any of that. If you can find someone with the same resume, then you can vote for that human. Otherwise, Yard Rock 2024. .com. Okay, I'm about to show you videos from of Congress, new videos of Congress being interrupted, Congress having to, the Biden administration having to end committee hearings, end meetings because the activists are just will not allow them to do the wonderful business of destroying our world, of giving more oil leases than even Trump did. I mean, they've opened the Gulf of Mexico up to more oil leases. It's just revolting what the Biden administration is doing. I have all those videos. Trust me, you want to see them. But in order to do that, head over to rumble.com/Lee Camp. That's rumble.com/Lee Camp. and all of this will continue. But one thing real quick, please do it for free. I get it. Not everybody has the 38 cents an episode to keep this show running. I get it. So go to leecamp.locals.com. All you got to do is give an email, and it will, you can become a free member of my locals page, of that community over there. You can be a part of that community. You won't get all the exclusive content, but you'll get plenty. And I hope you will go over to leecamp.locals.com. If you're not going to join me for the rest of this live stream, I hope you'll at least do that. But all right, rumble.com/leecamp, as well as locals. So if you're watching on locals, that will all continue as well, of course. So if you're watching over there, that will continue. But Rumble and locals coming your way because I'm so sensitive.